Okay, everyone, Chad Weber here, and I'd like to welcome you to another quick mini training. This one's actually going to be extra short today, but super exciting topic is I want to talk to you guys today about how to generate mortgage leads without Facebook. Because again, Facebook is uber important. Okay, nobody's disputing that. In fact, most of what I teach when it comes to lead generation, about 70 to 75% of that centers around Facebook and similar social media. However, the reason I want to talk to you about tools and ways to generate leads, specifically with paid traffic, running ads without using Facebook, is just because in the past year and a half to 2 years, seems like everybody and their brother has been climbing out of the woodwork, claiming to be experts, and suddenly everybody wants to teach Facebook. And the more and more people that this is taught to, naturally that means more and more competition for you. The costs of Facebook ads, just to give you an example, I started teaching Facebook ads back in, well, actually, even before 2011, but around 2011 was when things really got serious, where I really started to push it. And back then, you could still get away with 5 cent and 10 cent cost per click. I don't mean cost per engagement, and I don't mean targeting super tiny demographics, but I mean you could, just the average person, even in a very large city, could go out there and get nickel and dime clicks. Whereas now, a lot of those same people come to me complaining that they're paying $1.50, $2, $3 cost per click. And this is the exact same thing that happened with Google AdWords. Way back in the day, you could get a penny a click, cost per click. Now in the mortgage industry, even on the low end, if you're paying anything less than $20 to $25 for a single click, that's considered cheap, because a lot of the guys are paying 50, 60, 70 bucks, and in some markets, even up to $100 cost per click. But again, it started at penny clicks, but then as more and more people came on board, and then the big guys came on board, the cost skyrocketed. And you see the same thing happening to Facebook. Facebook's following the exact same pattern, the exact same business model. So those costs will continue to go up. Now, again, I don't want to scare anybody away from Facebook ads, because still, even at $1 a click, and I could still get my folks down to about 50 cents and 75-cent clicks if you know what you're doing. But you really do need to learn how to diversify your lead capture portfolio. So with a little bit of creativity, instead of following the crowd, let's do our own thing. So let me show you some networks out there where you can generally get very little competition and still capture a lot of business. So we're going to start off with Yahoo pay-per-click. Now, Yahoo pay-per-click is a wonderful network that's gone through a lot of evolutionary change over the years. And most recently, they're now part of the Oath Network, which if you take a look at their page, you'll see that that's a combination of AOL, that's Yahoo, it's all powered on a Verizon backbone. So in total, there's actually 50 brands or networks there that you're tapping into when you run your ads. And the beautiful thing about that is, just here in the US by itself, just in the US, there's 81 million people that you can target that fall in the 35 to 54 age bracket. 81 million people. I mean, you're darn near getting every adult in the US, very close to it at this point. So when it comes to mass exposure, it's actually a very reliable network. What I also like about Yahoo is the capability to run native ads. Now, again, keep in mind, this is a PPC network. That means you pay for clicks, you pay for performance. And native ads is the ability to run ads that are actually inserted into content itself. So the ads actually look as if they're a part of the page, as opposed to an obvious ad. Now, obviously, according to U.S. advertising laws, it still has to state on there that this is a promoted advertisement here, but just to the average person who's just glancing real quick at the page, a lot of them are going to click on it thinking that this is a part of the content. And if you've done your ad well, you're going to have a high conversion rate. If you've done your ad well and you take a more advertorial approach instead of a blatant in-your-face ad approach, you're going to find that this is actually a strength for Yahoo. This is something that you really want to tap into. Now, You still get a good amount of traffic too, is what I like about Yahoo. But again, it's not going to compete with Google. You're going to get about a third of the available traffic of Google in this particular niche. Or at least that's been my own anecdotal experience here. So, but again, even a third of the traffic, I mean, Google has just about as much traffic as you could possibly handle, you plus 1,000 other loan officers. So that's not necessarily something to view as a negative. A third of the traffic, it's still going well. All right, so let's look at another source, Bing. So Bing ads, what I really like is that they don't have a minimum ad spend. A lot of the advertising networks out there, and there's dozens and dozens of networks that you can tap into for running ads to get exposure. And a lot of them will have minimum ad spend. Some of them are $500, some of them 1,000, some of them even 2,500 to $5,000 just to get started. With Bing, there is literally no minimum advertising spend minimum. So you could go in there and say, hey, I only want to throw $10 at this. I don't know why you would want to limit yourself to just $10, but still, if you're just kind of bootstrapping it or shoestringing it, then Bing is going to be a great place to start. One thing that I've noticed about Bing traffic is that they tend to be more engaged than Google. When I do side-by-side comparisons of Bing versus Google, again, Google is king for just sheer varieties of types of ads and sheer volume, but where Bing kind of slid ahead was in the conversion rate. Is I would regularly get higher conversions and more engagements. The average person who clicked on my ad would spend more time on my ad when they came from Bing versus Google. And these are running identical ads, identical days. Okay, you're going to get cheaper clicks as well. So again, lower costs, no minimums. So this might be a great starting point for somebody on a pretty significant budget. But one of the things to keep in mind is you're only going to get between 1/4 and 1/5 the volume of Google in this niche. Again, anecdotally speaking. So if anybody says, oh, wait, I get something totally different, don't argue, because I'm not arguing with you. I'm not questioning your experience. I'm just saying in my experience and having done this in over half of the U.S., at this point with these particular ad networks, that's been my personal experience. Another thing that I really like about Bing that's a big bonus is the fact that oftentimes with a lot of the PPC networks, when you're running pay-per-click ads, you can target based off of keywords, meaning I can tell the ad network to only show my ads to people who are doing a search for home loans and mortgage loans and specific keywords, for example. But on Bing, what I like is that you can also target specific demographics. So I can go in with specific age groups and say, well, yes, I only want them to see my ad when they type in this keyword for search, but I also only want to target individuals in, say, the 35 to 48 age bracket. So you're not going to be wasting a lot of time and wasting money hitting age groups that just aren't going to be high conversion for whatever niche you're focusing on. So that's yet another big advantage. And you can do more than just age targeting when I say demographics as well. So just keep that in mind. Here's another great network that a lot of people just simply don't think of when we talk about pay-per-click advertising, and that's YouTube. Yes, YouTube, again, that's owned by Google, so you would deploy from Google AdWords right from that dashboard. But within Google AdWords, you can select that you only want to run ads on YouTube. Now, the beauty of this, guys, is that the volume of people that are using YouTube as an educational tool and as a search tool, it just keeps going up and up and up and up from year to year. It just keeps increasing, and we see no sign of that ending anytime soon. What I also like is that if you run pre-roll ads, if you run those video ads that show before someone watches a video, if that person chooses to skip your ad or only watches a couple seconds of it without getting into the core of your ad, you're not even charged for it. So you're actually getting exposure and views without paying for it. So this is great for retargeting. This is great for just picking up clients. And you can actually use your competition and competing channels as bait. And what I mean by that is that when you set up your YouTube account, and a lot of people just don't realize this, you have an opportunity to tell YouTube, yes, you can run commercials, ads on my channel, or you can select no, I'm going to block you from that. Well, the overwhelming majority of real estate agents and loan officers out there have not taken the time to block competitors' ads. So when you go into your YouTube dashboard, your Google AdWords dashboard, you can actually tell the system, hey, I specifically want to run ads on this channel and that channel and that channel. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to find all the real estate agents that are local to me that are getting a lot of views, and I'm going to make sure that I'm running my ads on their channel. So when somebody's actually looking at homes for sale, they're going to see my ads first. And you better believe that I'm going to make my ad relevant to the fact that they're home shopping, and that, hey, I know that 100% of the people that are watching this message just so happen to be house hunting because they're looking at homes for sale right now. And the same thing with competitors. So I can even have individuals that are competing banks and mortgage companies that have educational videos out there. Well, I can actually do a pre-roll ad so that they'll see my call to action before they see that person's. You also have keyword-specific targeting. So that's really nice. I can get extremely specific. I have a wide range of ad types. So I'm not limited to just running video pre-roll ads. I can do sidebar ads, and I can do inter-content ads. I mean, there's just a lot of different variations. So you can really customize your way of advertising, your method of advertising, and getting in front of people and getting your message seen. And again, just one benefit that you just simply cannot ignore is the fact that you have extremely low competition. Low competition means lower ad costs. So you're not going to pay anywhere near the Google AdWords cost for doing Google search. Even though you're using the Google AdWords platform, it's a completely separate entity. It's treated as a completely separate entity because technically it is. These are video, YouTube specific ads. And the fact that it's more difficult to set up a video ad means that there will always be a bigger barrier to entry. So you're never going to see the same mad crush of people coming on board to run ads as you would something that has a low barrier, such as Facebook ads. So again, there's going to be just a huge amount of people who are never going to want to take the time and put the brain power and thought process into learning how to shoot a good video or create a good video commercial or pay somebody to create a nice quality video commercial and learn how to leverage this on YouTube. So that means very low competition, very low costs, and guys, it converts. All right. So again, you don't have to limit yourself to just Facebook. So I created this quick mini training as an introduction, as an awareness video. I want you guys to be aware that you're not just limited to Facebook. Again, Facebook is something I strongly recommend everybody use and make a critical component of your advertising, of your lead generation efforts. However, never, ever, ever put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you're taking a look at some of these alternative platforms as well. You got Yahoo, you got Bing, you got YouTube. And for those of you saying, hey, well, you forgot to talk to us about AdWords. Well, everybody already is aware of Google AdWords. And they do have some pretty kick-butt products over there and that can help you avoid the higher costs. But that's going to be a video unto itself. So I'm going to be doing some pretty exciting trainings on some really neat stuff that Google's doing right now with their AdWords. So I figured that one justified a separate video. And I'll break down and do separate videos on these platforms in the future as well, because I do firmly believe that every single one of you should be using all of these platforms, because it's going to scale your business so quick if you know how to do it properly. So today was an awareness video, but I'll get more into the how-to portion down the road. All right. So I hope you guys found this beneficial, to remind you that there are competing networks out there to utilize if for whatever reason your Facebook's not working out for you right now, or if you just want to diversify your marketing portfolio. All right. I'll see you guys in the next training. Don't forget, put your comments below, guys. The more comments and questions, or just tell me what you'd like to see covered in the future. Let me know what topics you'd like to see covered in one of these mini trainings in the future, and I'll make sure that I take that into consideration. All right, guys. See you next time. Bye now. Make it a good one.